Hello, friends and wonderful viewers. Pressure is rising. Pressure is rising. Tension is rising. Yesterday, the Ohaneze and Ndigbo, first time coming together, coming together to pressure. They have series of meetings, about 4 hours plus, in Abuja yesterday. After their conclusion with Chief Iwanyanwu, they said he is the chairman of the Ohaneze and Ndigbo currently now. Chief Iwanyanwu. I will also allow you to see him and watch him through TVC when they interviewed him, his word, his opinion. This guy really nailed everything. He said there's no need of holding this guy. This guy did nothing. The court have released him, court have acquitted him. But you guys are still keeping him. This is why tension is getting in eastern part of Nigeria so bad. 1 week sit at home. Do you know what it means? 1 whole week. Nobody will go to market, nobody will trade, nobody will go to work, nothing. Sit at home. If they catch you outside, the way they are beating people mercilessly, the way they are killing, burning shops, if they see you open up, these people are absolutely the main business. So, but it is affecting the economy, it's affecting the people, the individual, not only the government, but it's affecting individual. So release this guy and let peace reign, and let us see what next. Because even if they release this guy, a lot of people are carrying gun now. Gun is in the hand of a lot of people who don't know which way, but let him be out. The way Sylvester Ekonu also analyzes it from channels with Sheung, also you just listen, hear what they are saying, and let us also hear your own viewpoint. What do you think? Do you think what they are saying makes sense? And let us hear from your own view. But this guy, Nnamdi Kanu, it has been long. The court have been this. According to Sylvester, he said it's in conclusion that his federal government is actually the one holding Nnamdi Kanu. Because if federal government say release him, they will release, because the court have given order release him. The also federal government is suing him into appeal court and all this. But why? Why is it? Because of what? But whatever thing it is, the court found him not guilty. So he is a free man. So release him. Let other normal people go to their normal activities, so that after these 7 days, they will not say another 7 days or another 1 week, another 1 month. Please, guys, take a look. I watch this and let us hear your own view. What do you think about all this, about Nnamdi Kanu? Have a successful day. Bye.
We'll go and see President Bola Tinubu to meet with him. Take a listen to part of what they agreed on. The governor that was there, the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, spoke. The President General of Ohaneze, Chief Emmanuel Nwanyawo, was one of those who led that meeting. Take a listen to what they agreed on.
We have identified insecurity, that is the problem of Southeast for now, and is at the front burner, and must be addressed. Over the years, we've been working with the governors of the region to ensure that this matter is resolved. The federal government in the past have supported, but we think that the federal government can do more. So among other resolutions, we resolved today to make a representation to the president for his intervention to be able to bring the insecurity in the region to an end.
Let's speak with one of the leaders of the political party, one of those, representing in the region. I have the national chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. Is the newly minted national chairman and perhaps the youngest national chairman in all of the political parties in Nigeria, Sylvester Ezekiel. Thank you so much, national chairman, for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
This is very serious, bonner within the polity of the Southeast Nigeria.
How bad are things in terms of security? The sit at home is a major issue, isn't it?
Yes, there are a whole lot of issues, not just the sit at home. at least when you talk about the seat at home, you're talking about the economic implications on the economy of the Southeast. Then there is the issue, which is the major one of the issue of security of lives and property. So there are criminals masquerading as agitators who have hidden in various bushes or forests around the Southeast, with the whole notion that they are probably agitating for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And every now and then, they come out, they unleash mayhem on the innocent citizens of Southeast Nigeria. And we've had track record of wanton kidnappings, killings, at least from, I should say, between 2020 till date. In fact, there have been numerous reports about the number of lives that have been lost. Security men, innocent civilians, so many property bonds, police stations, and what have you. So it's a very serious issue. And I'm very, very happy when you played the video of the meeting of Southeast leaders that was held at the Imo Government Lodge. There is a consensus of opinion around the Southeast, and that reverberates around Nigeria now, that there is need for the presidency or the federal government to wade into this crisis. And one thing that keeps reoccurring is the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I will draw an analogy with the biblical injunction that you try and separate the wheat from the chaff. Now, there are so many armed men, non-state actors, camped in various bushes and forests around Southeast, claiming that they are agitators and that they will not stop the unrest until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released. There have been several statements issued in the past. In fact, you will see some faceless group wearing masks saying that whoever you are, once you're a political appointee or a government official around Southeast, if they get you, they're going to eliminate you. Of course, in Anambra State, I think it was in last year, sometime last year, we lost a House of Assembly member who was gruesomely beheaded. So these are among the issues that the Southeast is facing. And I always say one thing, no matter the form or manner of an agitation, once a criminal is in the forest, he has to fend for food. So
where is Ebubo Ago in all of these, in the scheme of things? Because we thought that the Southeast Security Network,
yes,
the Ebubo Ago, was supposed to come as a mitigating factor.
When you say
to clear the bushes of the Southeast region.
When you talk about the Ebubo Ago, you recall that there was really no consensus of opinion around that. Like in Anambra State, we don't have Ebubo Ago.
Oh, you have the Anambra.
We have the Anambra Vigilante Services.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell you for sure, another issue that is really at the heart of all these things is the issue of policing within the context of the Nigerian Constitution. Because the Ebubo Ago you're talking about, there is a limit to the nature of arms that they can carry. For example, in Anambra State, where we have the Anambra Vigilante Services, the Anambra Vigilante Group, they've really tried as much as possible to try and quell these insecurity issues around Anambra State. And I know that there are similar groups around some other Southeast states. But the problem is the security forces, talking about the traditional security forces, the conventional security forces, the police and the armed forces, have really been demoralized in terms of the number of men that they've lost. Because this thing comes more or less in the form of a guerrilla attack. And that's why the consensus of opinion around the Southeast is that since there is a key actor in all of this, who is in detention, and who purports to be the reason why these criminals have been engaging in the form of criminality that they are doing in the Southeast, that there is need for President Tinubu to intervene by releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, so that there can be a serious roundtable discussion around the Southeast.
Isn't there a judicial or a legal question? Because the case is now before the Supreme Court, and the issue of his bail and the termination of the substantive matter before the apex court is there.
If you recall,
wouldn't that be?
If you recall, I did author an open letter to President Tinubu, which was published on some newspaper of this Sunday, Sunday Sun, I tried to highlight some of these issues because they are very, very critical to the survival of Southeast economy. Now, if you recall, there was a judgment sometime last year by the Court of Appeal quashing the charges of terrorism that were preferred against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Ordinarily, with the judgment, it means that the next thing is for him to be released because there are no longer any pending charges against him. Now, the next thing that happened was that the federal government, through the office of the AGF, filed an appeal before the Supreme Court and brought an application before the Court of Appeal, the same Court of Appeal that delivered the judgment, asking the Court of Appeal to stay the execution of that judgment. Of course, you have seen some other persons in the past who the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court set free. Once the charges against an accused person is quashed, the next thing is there's absolutely no reason to hold the person. But in this case, there was an application for stay of execution, which the Court of Appeal granted. Now, granted that probably forms a basis for the continued detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But the fact needs to be made, and the point needs to be made, that if not for the appeal and the application to stay the execution which was filed, presented before the Court of Appeal, he probably would have been a free man. So, and now, it now brings to burner, a front burner, the issue, because the essence of a prosecution is to really try and find out if someone who has been accused of committing a crime is actually guilty. Now, and what the federal government is expected to do is prosecution, not persecution.
So, I mean,
so it's very important we made that point.
So your own interpretation of the legal scenario playing out in the court is your opinion, but you know it's within the premise of the court now. And so it's for, so don't let us argue
it's not really within the premise.
You're giving a premise. Just hold on. We can't argue what just hold on. Okay. We cannot argue what is before the court.
No, let me explain. No, that's the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that whatever is holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is as a result of an appeal filed by the federal government. So if the federal government decides to withdraw the appeal today,
so are you aware that there is a matter before the court that was starting around April or May, and which has now adjourned his sitting
to September,
trying to hear the matter of his bail. So if that matter is before the court, I don't want us to speak in that way. Let us leave it to the court.
The point
so that the court can, if the court grants his bail.
The point we are making is simple. Before that time, because of the need, you know, various stakeholders made this call in the past. They were making the call, even aware of the fact that there are proceedings pending in court. If the federal government decides today that as a matter of urgency to hearken to the calls of various leaders and stakeholders from the Southeast, there are options available. I'm a lawyer. The Office of the Attorney General of the Federation can withdraw the charges preferred against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It can be
so that is the prayers of the leaders of the region, including Governor Chukwuma Soludo. That what we've been asking. Also, one of the prayers, I mean, because I've spoken to Governor Soludo about it, is that it could be handed over to him in the government house.
That's his request.
So the question is that with that, if the President Tinubu, for example, grant that request, would that douse the tension?
Yes. The most important thing.
You're 100%?
Yes. You know why? Governor Soludo has persistently maintained that we need him on the table because the issue of insecurity in the South is one that calls for serious dialogue from every stakeholder concerned. If you have Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on the table and he comes out to say, okay, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been released, now he draws one simple point. Any other person, any other group, no matter the ages, no matter the agitation you say you're doing, once you still remain in the forest or in the bushes, it means you are no longer probably agitating for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now we label you a pure criminal. So let me deal with you decisively.
Let's anchor on this point. I mean, on one hand, the the clamor for the
Yes.
release of Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
That's one hand.
Yes.
Which there are those who say it might not solve the problem because there are guns already in the hands
Yes,
of
exactly.
some element. Because
Yes.
you have also ascribed the fact that
Yes.
there are criminal elements
Yes.
who are also masquerading
Yes.
as agitators.
Yes.
So how do you clean up the Southeast region? Because all of this scenario had brought this tension in the region.
Now,
and there, don't forget, there
yes.
is a Simon Ekpa.
Yes. These are the issues. These are the
in
issues.
Finland.
Of course, these are the issues. Because
are you able to control a Simon Ekpa who is giving orders
of course,
for
if
people
you
to
see
sit at home?
all the orders Simon Ekpa has given are all geared or purportedly geared towards the release of Nnamdi Kanu.
There are some IPOB members that are denying that Simon Ekpa is not a leader of their group.
We have one Emma Powerful who issues statements here and there. But the fact remains that whatever Simon Ekpa is doing, whether rightly or wrongly, as much as possible, I've not come to apportion blames. What I've come to do as a concerned Southeast stakeholder, whatever statement that has been emanated from Simon Ekpa in the past have all been geared towards the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Now, if you release Nnamdi Kanu, ordinarily, you solve that problem. You talked about the cleaning of the Southeast. Now, I can tell you, and I make this call on national TV, it's very, very important. Good thing, while President Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State, he was a champion of true federalism. And I can tell you, because I could recall, as a lawyer who read so many cases bordering on Attorney General of the Lagos State and Attorney General of the Federation, and they all bordered on key issues bordering on federalism in line with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. One that has kept resurfacing as far as I'm concerned, and I said it in the letter, an open letter I wrote to the president, is the issue of policing. There is no longer any reason why the police should remain in the exclusive legislative list. It is very, very key. There is no way where you wait for someone in Imo State to wait on the IG of police in Abuja to secure. There have been cases. I think I recall an instance where the former governor of Enugu State, Ugwuanyi, as well as the former governor of Benue State, said that they reached out, they got credible intelligence about an imminent attack, and they reached out to security agencies, and nothing could be done. But in this situation, if we have state police like we have in other true federalism, something like the USA, so that in Anambra State, the security agencies that we have are under Anambra State Command, under the control of the state governor of the state, and they are well equipped and armed to handle this security situation. It is very, very important that I call on the National Assembly in this instance to really, really look at serious constitutional amendment to take care of the security issues that is affecting the entire country, not just the Southeast.
Sylvester Ezeokenwa, the national chairman of the All Progressive